LATD, we are back once again with another video. As always, I am RG from the 843, coming to you live from Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm joined as always by my guy, my brother, my co-host, the one and only.
This boy King J, man. I'm just smiling because it's just happy to. It's just good to see y'all.
Yeah.
We back in here with another one, man.
Yeah,
Tell them what we
man.
reviewing today.
Yeah.
We got a movie review. What we reviewing?
Nah, it's always good to be back in here, man. You know, getting out this content or whatever the case may be. But yeah, we have arguably one of the most anticipated movies of the year, really particularly of spooky season, as you know, y'all like to call it. What is it called? Beetlejuice. Can't say it, 3 times, but
Still stupid, bro.
But
yeah, Beetlejuice.
But yeah, Beetlejuice, the long-awaited sequel to the legendary Tim Burton movie, which arguably kind of kickstarted his career all the way back in the late 80s.
Right, 86, I believe.
Yes, starring, of course, Michael Keaton in the
Yes,
title
sir.
role. Of course, it only makes sense that they would bring him back, being as he is the focal point center of the movies,
The titular character.
Yes, the movies now, I guess you could say. Along with Winona Ryder, she's back.
Yep. She plays Lydia Dietz.
Yes.
Lydia
Who
Dietz.
was in the original as a teenager, but now this is like some 30 years later. So
Over 40.
Yeah.
Almost 40, yeah.
Around that. And, we have that. And, pretty much the plot of the movie is Lydia Dietz,
She's getting haunted again by Beetlejuice this time.
Yeah.
And because back in the original movie, she this is weird, but the plot was she had to get married to Beetlejuice in order to save 2 ghosts named the Maitlands. I forgot their names, but they were played by Alec Baldwin and another lady.
Yeah.
But so she's back.
Truth be told, I've never seen the original.
I watched it the other day. It was pretty good. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Like, it was a lot better than this one, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, you can tell them better than I can.
Yeah, but Lydia D, she has her own Halloween show, all based off ghosts and everything.
I guess contact show.
Right.
I guess is what it is. Like, she's making contact with the other life or whatever the case may be.
Right. Like, she's kind of like Miss Cleo, but in a more light skinned version. I'll just put it like that. But anyway, so she started seeing Beetlejuice again, and then next thing you know, her father ends up passing away. So in Jenna Ortega's character, who she plays Astrid Dietz,
Jenna Ortega,
Dietz's daughter.
Not to cut you off, but yeah, Jenna Ortega, which has kind of become sort of one of the new rising actresses / scream queens in Hollywood. She was notably in Scream. What was that? 5 and 6?
5 and 6.
Until, she decided to quit in solidarity with her co-star. That was, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, but she kind of, she was in The Heights, though.
Yeah. But Jenna Ortega for sure has kind of made a name for herself in the sort of Scream Queen, sort of, I guess, gothic horror sort of lane, because in addition to that, she's also Wednesday in the Wednesday show. Was that on Netflix? I think it is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's on one of them streaming sites. I was about to say that too.
Yeah, but she's definitely becoming somebody of note in her own right. So it only makes sense that Tim Burton would want to incorporate sort of like the new rising talent in this lane.
Mm-hmm.
Who Jenna Ortega, reliably does a good job, as she's pretty much shown herself to be capable of throughout her career so far.
And the fact that she's Lydia's daughter in this one it's great to see. She has a very good performance, but their relationship is kind of on the rocks in this movie.
Yeah, which
I kind of forgot why, but
so basically what it was, and not to really spoil too much because you got some people who haven't seen it yet, but to say their relationship is testy, it's mostly due to the fact that, it in part has to do with the fact that Astrid doesn't believe in the paranormal or the supernatural that Lydia is constantly consumed in. So it creates a lot of tension and a rift between them, because she thinks that her mom is, chasing literal ghosts. So there's that sort of element of it. And it's also due to the fact that, again, no spoilers, let's just say Lydia has sort of a relationship with her manager, which Astrid is not a big fan of, as we see in the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much where we'll leave it at, and as far as the plot goes. And this brings me to the whole thing with Beetlejuice. He's surprisingly not in the movie as much as you would think he would be.
It's the same way in the first one too.
Yeah, I heard that he doesn't appear for the first 45 minutes or so.
But the time that he is in here, Michael Keaton steals the whole show for me.
Of course.
Because Beetlejuice being kind of like the Joker in a way, very rambunctious, very wild and out there, and very jokey and everything. So Michael Keaton really does steal the show for the little bit of time that he has in both movies. Because one thing about this movie, it's very funny and very wacky. It's almost to a cartoonish degree.
It's very zany, and that's one thing I really appreciated about it. And really, the majority of Beetlejuice's storyline revolves around his ex-wife coming back from wherever she's been.
Right, the dead, I guess.
Yeah,
even though she's
the dead or dead, I guess you could call it.
Right, because she's kind of like her. So, not to spoil the movie, it's just
played by Monica Bellucci. Of course.
Yeah, Monica. She does a great job in here too.
The little bit,
and she's trying to pretty much take Beetlejuice's soul for some reason.
Whatever the case may be, but yeah, no. Basically, that's the general plot of what's going on, and so on that end. For me personally, the story was fine. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was serviceable.
Okay.
And being somebody who's never seen the original, again, my fault, yo. I know I'm late, but
I watched it.
But but with this movie, the story, it's fine. It's decent. It's nothing groundbreaking or whatever the case.
Nah.
But for me, where this movie really shined, and you kind of alluded to it, really kind of the tone, the visuals, and just the wackiness and the zaniness of it. Tim Burton does a really good job of kind of showcasing this world as very kind of wacky, kind of over the top, very I guess you could say stylized.
Right, yeah, stylized.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun and creative world that Tim Burton has created with Beetlejuice. And I just really think that that's really where it shines the most. The visuals and just the overall look of the movie is really, really good. This movie looks incredible.
Yep. I 100% agree. The cinematography was great. The set design was great when they go to the afterlife or the netherworld, I guess, something like that. All of that was great. The world that he built for the afterlife in there was honestly zany, funny, and it's crazy how all the characters that show up when they die, they show up how they die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's one thing I really enjoyed about it.
Because there's this one scene where a receptionist has this kind of graphic, but let's just say she played a certain Olympic sport that had to do with a javelin, and the javelin is stuck in her body or something like that. Pause. Yeah. But it's
and you can kind of figure out the rest.
Right.
You can kind of figure out how she got there.
Right. So it's just stuff like that, or Lydia's dad, who played by, well, he's a jerk, but for reasons we can't really say. Let's just say he lost his career over this, but in a clever way, he gets eaten by he dies in a certain crazy way, and that's how they show him in the movie, because if you know what happened to the actor who played Lydia's dad, but they should even show him in a clever way, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's definitely moments in here that definitely made me laugh out loud. But to be honest, the story for me, what story? There was more than one story. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
There were a lot of storylines that were kind of being juggled throughout this movie, for sure.
Right.
And I think that kind of leads to one of the movie's inevitable weaknesses, is that they try to do a lot with a lot of different characters, and sometimes it feels kind of jumbled.
Right.
And it kind of feels like they're a little bit all over the place. And inevitably, certain storylines are going to be more interesting than others, just because certain characters and certain things that are going on in their lives just so happen to be more interesting than other characters, particularly when Beetlejuice comes on screen. He steals everything, naturally.
Right.
So this movie, depending on what you're looking to see with this movie, if you're looking to see Beetlejuice be everywhere and be the main presence throughout the entire movie, you will be disappointed because he's not there to the degree or the capacity you would expect, especially with this being his namesake. But I didn't mind that because I liked what we got of the other characters.
Right, I agree.
like the character work that was being done, particularly with Astrid and Lydia, as far as their dynamic and everything. That for me is the main thing that made this movie work. And there's a subplot with Astrid that I also found really interesting.
Right, and truth be told, in my honest opinion, that should have been the main That should have been the main plot. To be honest,
I can agree with that
because you barely see, as much as you see Beetlejuice, you barely see his wife in here or ex-wife in here, because there was, like you said, they juggled too much, and it just didn't turn out to be like a mess. And then when they wrap up the subplot with what's her name, with Astrid and this kid named Jeremy, which y'all will see when y'all see the movie, they wrap it up too quickly, in my opinion. And on top of that, it takes a long time for the movie to get going anyway.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the things about this movie, is that it is a bit slower paced than maybe you would expect, but I think that for the most part, it works for what it's trying to be. I honestly don't think that this movie is anything groundbreaking or anything spectacular.
Right.
If you're a Tim Burton fan, you're gonna like this movie just because it's Tim Burton. Like, you know, Tim Burton's been directing movies for what, 40 something years now. So you go to a Tim Burton movie, you know what to expect.
Right.
Everything from this to what, Edward Scissorhands and everything.
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, you know what to expect with Tim Burton. Right. So, you know, that kind of weird, spooky, sort of zany sort of vibe, it's there, you know, as it should be.
Right.
And for me, I've been a Tim Burton fan, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I enjoy what he does as a director. And I think that if you are going into this movie wanting a Tim Burton movie, you're going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much exactly what I have to say in terms of this movie. I think that the visuals and the characters are interesting. And I just think overall, the look of the movie, like I said, the visuals, the style, the characters, the performances, all come together to make this movie pretty entertaining. It's nothing incredible, but I had a good time with it for sure.
Yeah, it was fun for what it was. Willem Dafoe was in this movie as well. He plays Wolf something. He plays a former actor who, you know, he played a cop. So his name was Wolf Jackson in this one. And he stole the show for me as well, like the times that he was on screen as well. But he didn't really need to be there, to be honest.
Not really, but I did enjoy his performance. I've always been a Willem Dafoe fan, so I'm not mad at seeing him, you know, pop in here and there.
Yeah, from Spider-Man and everything, man. It's just, I'm a little bit more critical of this movie, mainly because I didn't feel like I wasted my time, but it was just too much at one time. Like, as far as the plot lines go,
yeah, for sure.
They don't really follow through with a lot. And there's a certain joke in here dealing with a train.
I don't even remember this to be. Oh, yeah. Y'all will see it. Y'all will see it for sure.
And I'm like, you know, Tim Burton being who he is, you'll see why I say all of this.
This is the most we've ever seen black people in Soul Train. Oh, well, in a Tim Burton movie.
Well, so that's essentially the joke. Because they go on the Soul Train to the great beyond or whatever. And then let's just put it like this. Don Cornelius. Let's just put it like that. For all my black people out there that watch Soul Train. But yeah, this movie overall, I didn't really care much for it, to be honest. It was just kind of there for me, bro. I'm not going to sit here and grind it into the dirt, but I didn't think it was really that good. Like, I had fun with what it was, but it was just, to me, it was just really just something to watch.
Honestly. Okay, me personally, I might give it a little higher than something to watch. I'd probably give it what it would be a smooth. Yeah, I would probably do that. I would say I enjoyed it. I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than you.
Yeah, you enjoyed it a lot more than me.
It's inherently more so my type of movie anyways. I think that the thing I enjoy the most about this movie is that it kind of signals the start of, again, spooky season. And it just kind of, in my opinion, it was a great way to usher it in. as opposed to another Saw movie. Even though Saw last year, Saw 10 was actually pretty good. But yeah, no, it's nice to get something to kind of usher in, you know, this time of year that so many people look forward to. So many people look forward to Halloween and, you know, just the vibe and the atmosphere, all the movies that are coming out. You got Smile 2 on the way. You've got Joker 2, which, who cares?
Yeah.
You got that.
I heard it's not even doing that good.
Yeah, well, we will for sure talk about that. I have a lot to say about the original Joker, and I imagine I'll have even more to say about the sequel based on what I've been hearing. But yeah, overall, fine for what it was. Probably wouldn't sit down and watch it again like that.
I'm definitely not.
I need to go back and watch the original. I will for sure do that. Matter of fact, we probably could even review that for this Halloween season.
Why not? We can review it because I like Beetle, the original one.
Yeah,
the original one to me, like it was a simple plot line, but it was a cool and fun plot line. You know?
Okay, yeah.
It's just simply these two ghosts, they die. Well, these two people get into a car accident and they pass away, and then they're back in their house, but the people, the Deets, show up, and just a little sneak peek. But the thing is, the people, the Deets, they show up, and they're not very nice people. They're not very nice people. They're kind of snobby and stuck up, and they don't want them there, so they try to scare them away. Mm-hmm. So
okay, yeah, yeah, we'll for sure get to that. You know, along with, you know, not to spoil the surprise, but we definitely have something coming for y'all for this Halloween season, of course. Yes, but sir. Overall, yeah, I would probably give it a low smooth myself. I enjoyed it for the most part. I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed the zaniness of it, but that's just me personally. So
I understand.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Strong start to the Halloween season, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the movie was okay. I didn't hate it, but you definitely ain't gonna be seeing me watch it again, especially because we had people that was sitting right next to us.
Boy,
who just wouldn't hush for some odd reason.
For some reason,
he just talked through the whole movie,
through the whole movie, almost like 3/4 of the entire movie. It's like, man, do y'all not know other people ain't here? Right. Y'all didn't rent the theater out. This is, you know, a public space, and y'all over here doing the most, just talking, just laughing, and just. But there's nothing wrong with laughing in the theater, but it's just like. When y'all are just over here just
having their own conversations.
Facts. And I can barely understand. And mind you, these people are right next to us. You know, lucky us. But yeah, now this thing right here had me because one thing I cannot stand is when you got people in the theater that just won't stop talking, man. Like, hey, I paid money for this too. Let me enjoy this, man.
Right. And it was the same thing when we saw Rise of the Beast last year. There's one guy commenting on everything.
And he was funny at first, but boy, he just, after a while, it's like, man, shut up, man.
Right. And you don't want to say nothing because then you become the bad guy.
Then you the villain.
Yeah.
Then they see folks is throwing popcorn at you and stuff like that, or you about to get into a fight. You the one that wouldn't stop talking in the first place.
Right. But anyway, that didn't ruin the movie for me. The movie
didn't help the experience whatsoever.
It didn't. It's just stop talking during the movie and just enjoy the movie and shut up. Or if you're going to talk, be quiet so other people can't hear you. Just the person you talking to can hear you. Hush. Something.
No, for real. That's our little disclaimer. You know, be courteous to your neighbor in the theater. But yeah, overall, that's pretty much what I have to say about the movie.
Same here. Like I said, it's just something to watch for me.
For sure. But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I have to say. So this has been Rodney, a.k.a. RG from the 843, and this has also been
King J, a.k.a. AJ. Y'all know who it is by now.
But yeah, no, continue to look at the details, y'all, and peace.
Peace.